Directly below is called Marma, and across where that hilltop is Zuluma and Viso de los Cerros. Below that is Alcalá de Henares, and that goes all the way across the bottom of that hilltop and to the left as far as we can see. I have the camera up here on my helmet because this ride gets a little bumpy, and I think this will be much better. The image stabilization on this camera is really good. Nevertheless, it bounces around and I don't like torturing it. Now, I am using the dropper seat post quite a bit, much to my amazement because I didn't think I even wanted one. But in this type of environment, I think it's really handy. Now, this little spot right here goes from being muddy to sandy and everything in between because they're doing work here, some construction work in this communications facility. As a rule, I don't bother recording this bit because it's kind of slow and it requires a lot of my focus. Just so, I thought it would be kind of an improvement if I demonstrate more of the actual riding, because it's hard to see with the camera and it's hard to appreciate how these rocks roll around like ball bearings, but it's a little tricky here. All of that's complicated a little bit because my left eye is still healing from the retinal reattachment surgery. I am thrilled, however, how well it's all going. What doesn't thrill me is there's still some distortion. Things look small and further away than they should be, and my right eye is trying to compensate and pick up the extra load, and my poor brain is trying to decipher what's what. At any rate, when I was getting up to that lookout point, the rear tire slipped a little bit on the gravel, and when I was running with the Tough Tom, which is a big knobby tire, well, it's the same size, but it has huge lugs, nicely spaced, and it looks like it should be on an RT vehicle. I don't remember it slipping. The Smart Sam has excellent side lugs, really nice side lugs for grabbing in soft stuff, but in gravel the center is kind of smooth and it's designed more for blacktop, or even this kind of thing where it's relatively smooth. It may not look that smooth. It's not. but in the world of gravel bike riding, it's pretty smooth. Since I put the new motor controller box, I haven't had any more trouble with the power stalling, which is great. The XLC suspension dropper seat post is working better than I had hoped, and I'm using its dropper function quite a bit, and the suspension feature is really quite nice. Actually, it took a little while to get used to because it's firmer than what I was using, because with the XLC parallelogram seat post, it was a spring-loaded job and I could adjust it a little bit finer. This one theoretically is infinitely adjustable, but if you make it too soft, what happens is when you hit a bump, like we just went over, the seat compresses, then you have to raise your butt up a little to get it back into position, and then you can keep on going. With the spring-loaded seat, suspension seat post, that wasn't a consideration. It always would spring back to its original position. So this one is a little firmer than I might like, and it took a little while, but now that I'm used to it, I like it. The Bucklo's air suspension fork that's in the front, they're working very well. I've noticed a little bit of play in the wipers. I'm thinking very seriously about replacing them. So I went to AliExpress, which is about the cheapest place to buy them, and ordered some Suntour wipers. Now, a 32 millimeter wiper isn't necessarily a 32 millimeter wiper, but I've seen on YouTube that they will fit. Now, I just happen to have a tool for installing the wiper inserts, and with that tool I should be able to install the Shimano's without damaging them. On the YouTube video that I watched, the guy damaged it a little tiny bit, took off a little bit of the edge material, but I think that's because it didn't go in straight. I think if it's driven very straight, it maybe even heat it up a little bit. I would heat up the magnesium bottoms with a heat gun, maybe, so it feels pretty warm to the touch, and that should expand it out about maybe 10 or 15 thousandths of an inch. And then take the wipers, shove them in the freezer, get them nice and cold, and they should just drop right in. I don't know what the coefficient of expansion is for the rubber wipers, but they might shrink a little bit. But to be sure, the metal of the bottoms are made out of a magnesium alloy, and they will expand a lot with not that much heat. Anyway, that's going to be my approach on it. Still, the wipers cost about, I think I'm spending 8 euros, and for that and the 26 millimeter socket to drop the stanchions. The forks cost 125 euros, so that would still bring up the cost of these things to below 138 euros. I mean, that's cheap. Just so, I can't find anything really wrong with these forks. They feel better than the Shimano spring forks. They're 1.6 kilos lighter, which is a lot. And I don't know, I think they look good. Anyway, I'm gonna go up here on this farm road and see if I can't get myself totally lost on some of these spider webs. So I'm gonna say see you later and stop recording.